Hi, Sarita.
Hello.
So tell me, how did you meet Osho?
I met him by divine grace because I was hitchhiking. I hitchhiked all through Europe and overland to India. I was looking for the essence of life, and I was thinking perhaps I would find it in the Himalayas in India. And then when I landed in India, I came in contact with Goenka, started studying Vipassana. I did a 10-day retreat. And then I went to Mumbai to do a month-long retreat with Goenka. And while I was in Mumbai, somebody said to me, there's a man that you should meet. And I'm going there tonight. Come with me. And so I went, and there was about 30 people sitting on the floor in an apartment in Mumbai. And they were all dressed in orange. So they were just sitting in silence and waiting. I didn't know for what. It was like all new to me. And then Osho literally floated into the room. The way he walked was so much grace. It was just incredible to see him. And I was very passionate about dance. So I felt he is the ultimate dance master. Just the gracious way he was moving his body, his gestures. And then on top of it, he was speaking on the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. And the sutra that he commented on is one that I can never forget. It was, while engaged in sexual union, stay attentive on the fire in the beginning, and so continuing, avoid the embers in the end. He spoke for 1.5 hours on that particular sutra. Blew my mind completely, really like, wow, something I had always yearned for, but never really knew was possible. He was really elucidating on that. And then when he was going out, he looked into my eyes for a long time. And the same friend who had brought me there, who was Krishna Prem, some people might know about Krishna Prem. So he said, well, before you go into your Vipassana retreat, tomorrow morning, there's a special meditation on the beach, on Chowpatty Beach. You can come 6 o'clock in the morning. And then afterwards, Osho is giving Shaktipat. Of course, at that time, he was known as Bhagwan, but I'm just using Osho because that's how we know him now. And so I went at 6 o'clock the next morning and did dynamic meditation for the first time. And that became a passionate love affair to do dynamic meditation. I did it every day for 1.5 years after that. It was just so life-transforming. And then I went to Shaktipat with Osho, and that was absolutely amazing. In the Shaktipat, we were asked to pour our ego into a flower and just completely let go of any ego patterns into the flower, and then offer that flower to Osho's feet. There were golden images of his feet. And Swami Yog Chinmaya was there introducing this subject to us. And so I was very doubtful, like thinking, you know, he might be some guru who's going to hypnotize us, and this is dangerous, so my mind was chattering. But anyway, I thought, I will never find out unless I experience. So let me just have this experience, and then we see. So I offered the flower to his golden feet, and there was like a bolt of lightning came through me. It was absolutely phenomenal. And then Osho came, and he asked us to give him all of our suffering. There was about 100 people there at the Shaktipat. To offer all of our suffering and anguish to him while looking into his eyes. So all these 100 people looking into his eyes, screaming, howling, catharting. And then after 20 minutes, he asked us to lay down and simply receive the divine, as deeply as possible to receive the divine in and through us, in deep silence. Of course, that experience absolutely transformed me completely. I was never the same after that. Then I went directly into my Vipassana retreat for 1 month. Meanwhile, nobody explained to me that Osho was a guru, that you can take sannyas, that, you know, he can be guiding you. I just got my mind blown. I had no idea what to make of it. And it was only at the end of my Vipassana retreat that somebody told me, you know, this Bhagwan, this Osho, he's in Mount Abu, and he's going to be guiding a meditation camp. You can go there. So I took the train, I went there, being footloose and fancy-free. I went there and I met Sushila when I arrived. And she said, have you read any book of Osho? I said, no, I didn't know he has books. She said, what? But you have to read his book. So read this book, I Am the Gate, and you have to read it tonight because the camp starts tomorrow. So I stayed up the whole night reading I Am the Gate. And the next day, the camp started. Osho was guiding dynamic meditation and other meditations. And then I had the great blessing to receive sannyas from him. I still didn't know exactly what sannyas is, but I went into the room where he was, and his first words to me were, where have you been? And I said, with Goenka. And then he laughed and he said, so, ready for sannyas? And I said, yes, not knowing exactly what it was about. Then he gave me the mala, he gave me my name. Your new name is Ananda Sarita. And Ananda means bliss, Sarita means river. Your name is River of Bliss. And then he also explained that Ma means Mother of the Universe. And he added, if you continue with meditation, you will become this. From that day, I stayed in his community for 26 years. And, of course, got totally transformed.
So what brought you to teaching Tantra?
What brought me to Tantra is that when I started working with Osho, he used to see his disciples like once or twice a week, so we could have private meeting with him. Of course, at that time I didn't realize what a great privilege that was, but it was just exquisite happening to be able to go and be with Osho directly. And he would offer meditation to do, to practice, and then I would do the practice, and then I would come back to him, and he would ask me how it went, and then give me a new practice. At that time, I didn't know it, but all the practices he was giving me were tantric practices. So from the very first day, I was getting immersed into Tantra. And I was an extremely thirsty meditator. I had a lot of anguish from my childhood that I needed to release, to heal. I needed to open on so many levels. And I simply dived into meditation like a thirsty person in the desert. I just wanted it. I lived and breathed and slept and waked with meditation. It became my entire life. And so Tantra, from the very beginning, that was my path. And there's, of course, few different instances that were very, very powerful, life-transforming. And one of the most transforming memories that I had is I was sitting in front of Osho, and usually he would ask me, how was the meditation practice that you did? And he would give me some new practice, or he would give me some kind of advice about what I had been experiencing. But on that particular day, he didn't say a word. He simply started caressing my skin, very softly. And probably up to the point where I met Osho, I had never experienced conscious touch. It was such a powerful experience. And without knowing why, I started sobbing and crying and howling. I was just completely beside myself. He stopped and he asked me what is happening. And without knowing why, I blurted out, I hate my body, I hate my body. And then he simply continued his caress, saying, love the body, love the body, love the body. It is through the body you reach the divine. And I took a 180-degree turn inside of myself that was just so phenomenal, because I'd been raised in an atheist family. However, in the Christian culture, so it had seeped into me this idea that spirituality and the body are two separate things, and that I need to transcend the body and attain to some higher wisdom beyond the body. And it never occurred to me that I could go inside the body and find the divine. So his words just resounded in me at the deepest level, and I started following those words and discovering the divinity within this body. And that really set me firmly on the Tantra path, because that's the message of Tantra. In every cell of the body, you can find the universe. Our body is the microcosm of the macrocosm. So that became my Tantra path.
According to your experience, what is Tantra? What is the definition of Tantra?
Juicy question. Tantra is a lifestyle. It's also a spiritual path, a path to enlightenment. And it is a way of bringing love and consciousness together as one. The path of love is a feminine path of meditation and witnessing, masculine path. When we bring these two paths together, it is Tantra. Of course, Tantra also includes methods of meditation, and those methods function as a kind of portal, helping us to open into expanded consciousness through every different aspect of life. And there's so many different ways to explore Tantra, whether that's through our senses, through our emotions, through our chakra system, Kundalini energy, the mind, expanded different states of our subtle energy, like energy bodies, etc. And I love to explore many different aspects of Tantra. For example, I have a 7-level training for couples. I love to teach the Tantra meditation retreat, which is working with 112 methods of the Vigyan Vairava Tantra. Also, I have a Tantra teacher training, empowered woman training, and master lover, sacred sexuality, all these different ways or facets of how to enter into the Tantra path. Also, of course, the Tantra mystic massage. And my whole approach is that Tantra is a spiritual path. It is a path to spiritual awakening. And meditation is the backbone. If we have sexually oriented Tantra, but there is no meditation in it, sorry, that's not Tantra. That might be sacred sexuality. It could be like a more conscious way of sexual healing, etc., etc. But it's not Tantra unless it includes deep meditation. And by meditation, I mean both active and silent practices. Maybe it includes partner exercises, sharing, sacred space, rituals, etc. So in my groups and trainings, we cover a very wide range of experience as we journey deep within ourselves and open the full flowering of our consciousness.
So what's your dream? What is your dream that you'd like to manifest?
Well, it used to be enlightenment, but now I have a new dream. And that new dream, actually, which I've had for the past maybe 15 years, I would like to create an eco-resort, eco-village, where people can come and be immersed in Tantra and experience the Tantra way of life, which is a life of bliss, joy, celebration. Everything that our master has been teaching us. And because I've been teaching since 1990, I've gained quite a lot of experience in how to transmit the bliss of Tantra. And I feel like a living Tantra community is the way to go for that. So I have a very nice plan how that can all function. And all I'm missing is some investors, because maybe I'm very good at transmuting Tantra, but missing some elements about how to bring in the financial art or expertise that's needed for that. So anybody who's interested in joining, just connect at tantraessence.com.